Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really crucial stack of sources that I think reveal this massive duality of artificial intelligence.
Exactly. On one side, we've got this fascinating and honestly sometimes terrifying TEDx talk that's all about how AI is just pouring fuel on the fire of cybercrime.
And then on the other side, you have these, huge global reports from places like PwC and MIT-BCG, and they're detailing this profound economic and organizational upheaval that AI is causing in the, let's say, legitimate economy.
Right, so our mission today is pretty clear. We're charting these two parallel futures of AI. We have to explore staggering opportunities for productivity and growth.
But at the same time, we have to grasp the sheer scale and sophistication of its dark side. It's one technology, two completely different masters.
I think the best place to start is this core idea, this analogy that one of the sources uses. It really frames the whole conversation.
Oh, the knife analogy. Yeah, that really hooked me. AI is just a tool like a knife. You can use it to prepare an incredible meal, or you can use it to cause serious, serious harm. The knife itself is, neither good nor evil.
That analogy is perfect because it forces you to confront the reality here, that technology is value neutral. We have to understand how the bad guys, so to speak, are using it to completely revolutionize crime.
And at the same time, how legitimate organizations have to adapt their entire structure, really, to harness its potential. It's an adaptation challenge on a massive scale.
Okay, let's start with that dark side because the scale of this dark economy is the first number that just stops you in your tracks. I think we all still have this image of the hacker as, what, a bored 15-year-old in a basement?
Right, and the sources just immediately tear that misconception apart. The reality is, this is a sophisticated, global $1 trillion industry. But even that number is old news.
Old news.
The real cost of cybercrime is projected to go past $10 trillion annually by next year. It's an economic leviathan. $10 trillion. That's such a huge abstract number. I mean, to give everyone listening some context, what does that actually mean for, global stability when a criminal enterprise gets that powerful?
It means that if cybercrime were a country, if you measured its GDP, it would be the third largest economy in the world,
Wow.
just behind the United States and China. That kind of economic power translates into the ability to recruit top talent, invest in the best tech, and just operate completely outside the law of almost any country. It's a parallel world economy.
And the number one business model that's powering this third largest economy, ransomware.
Ransomware, exactly. They encrypt all your files, demand money for the key, and the ransoms are all over the place. It could be $2,000 for an individual, or it could go all the way up to $240 million for a massive company.
What's really wild to me is the sheer professionalism of it all. It's not just, rogue hackers. It's almost commodified.
It's completely commodified. They call it ransomware as a service, or RIAS. These criminal operations offer, and this is shocking, customer support.
Customer support? You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious. You get live chat, decrypt help. Some of them have dedicated tech departments to hold your hand through the process. Like, oh, is this your first ransomware attack? No problem. We'll guide you through paying in crypto.
That's unbelievable.
They have finance departments, HR, and they even run an affiliate commission system. The person who actually does the attack, they use the software, commit the crime, and then pay the main operation a 20% commission on the ransom.
It's crime with five-star service. But wait, if AI is making these attacks so easy to launch, why do they even need that commission structure? Why wouldn't they just, steal the software and do it themselves?
Because the core operations provide the heavy lifting, the infrastructure, the zero-day exploits, the encryption management, the anonymity. AI lowers the bar for the affiliate, the person actually pushing the button.
So all you need is a motive and a laptop.
Pretty much. Long-term, AI lets criminals generate super-specific malicious code or craft these perfect, linguistically flawless phishing emails without any real coding or language skills.
Okay, speaking of sophisticated attacks, let's talk about deepfakes. The speed at which this tech has advanced is just terrifying.
It really is. It used to take, hours of source material to clone a voice or a face. Now for a synthetic video, a single high-res picture is often enough.
And for a voice?
For a voice, it only takes about 15 to 30 seconds of raw audio. That could be a WhatsApp voice note, a clip from a Zoom call, anything.
And we're already seeing this used in really high-stakes fraud. The sources talk about that case, the company director in Dubai. His voice was cloned to authorize a $35 million transfer. The familiarity of the voice was the trigger.
And it goes way beyond finance. You see it in political disinformation like those deepfakes of President Zelensky calling for surrender. But the real fundamental challenge here is existential.
What do you mean?
Deepfakes completely challenge the very concept of video or audio evidence.
Right. If there's a video of you, a perfect video of you robbing a store, what's your alibi? The evidence against you is something that never actually happened.
Exactly. And flip that around. How does a real bank robber who is genuinely caught on camera prove in court that the video is not a deep fake? It just breaks our trust in what we see and hear. It forces the justice system into this weird place of having to prove the evidence itself is real.
That dark side, it really gives you the context for why we need to understand the engine behind all this. I mean, the exponential acceleration of AI development itself. It's just not the slow, predictable pace of Moore's law anymore.
That's spot on. The sources describe AI development as double exponential, or choppy. It just blows past the normal tech acceleration curve. There's this one dramatic example they give.
The jump from ChatGPT 3.5 to 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a 10 times growth in performance in a very, very short amount of time.
A 10 times leap. I mean, if that keeps up, the sources are suggesting we could be looking at an artificial general intelligence with an IQ of what, 1,500?
1,500. And just to anchor that for you, Einstein's estimated IQ was around 160. So we're not talking about a smarter assistant. It's a completely different category of intelligence.
And this is all possible because we've moved away from that old model of programming, right? Where we had to give the machine every single instruction.
Totally. That was the glorified slave model, as one source called it. The machine only knew what we explicitly taught it.
But with deep learning, that's all changed.
Yes. Now, we just give the machine the problem and let it figure out the solution. They reference the famous cat paper, where researchers basically just gave a huge neural network access to YouTube. They just let it watch.
And what happened?
Unprompted, the machine developed a conceptual understanding of catness. The intelligence was learned. It emerged. It wasn't programmed in by a person.
And this self-learning brings us right to the doorstep of the singularity. The moment we get an AGI that's smarter than us at, well, everything. The timelines are all over the place. Ray Kurzweil says 2029. Some say it could be as early as 2025.
Yeah, and regardless of the exact year, this is where the core dilemma comes up. Intelligence itself, is inherently a good thing. A massive abundance of it could solve climate change, cure diseases, and tedious labor.
That is a big but.
The big but is when you plug that abundant intelligence into our current global system, a system that, at its core, prioritizes human greed and wealth accumulation. That is where things will almost inevitably go wrong.
So the biggest threat isn't the AI's power, it's our own flaws being amplified by that power.
Precisely. The challenge is one of humanity's ethics and values. We are, in effect, the parents of these systems. We're giving them their foundational values through the data we feed them. And the machine will just optimize for whatever goal we give it. If that goal is profit with no ethical guardrails, we have a huge problem.
Okay, so let's pivot. Let's look at the massive economic uplift that's happening at the exact same time. If you step back from the existential threat for a moment, the job market data is showing that AI investments are paying off big time for companies.
Oh, they absolutely are. Industries that are most able to use AI are seeing 3 times higher growth in revenue per employee compared to the industries that are least exposed. That productivity surge really took off in 2022.
Right when this stuff started hitting the mainstream, so the investments are translating directly into output.
And that translates directly into a financial reward for the workers who can adapt.
Okay, so how much are we talking?
Workers with specialized AI skills, think prompt engineering, model maintenance, they now command a staggering 56% wage premium on average.
56%? Wow.
And that's up from 25% just last year. It shows you how fast the market is scrambling to buy that expertise. And overall, wages are just growing twice as fast in AI-exposed industries.
So the fear of, mass replacement by robots seems unfounded for now. But the need for mass reskilling feels very, very real.
The data supports that 100%. Job numbers are actually growing for both the automatable roles and the augmentable roles. AI isn't just replacing people, it's dissolving and restructuring the tasks within their jobs.
Okay, so let's use that example from the report. John, the customer support agent, what does his job look like now?
So John's simple, repetitive tasks, the easy-to-script stuff, that's all automated now by chatbots. But his job didn't go away. His role evolved. He's now a complex problem solver. The AI is his assistant, basically.
How so?
It automatically reviews thousands of similar past cases to suggest solutions for the really tricky or emotional or brand new problems that come in. So automation is augmenting John's abilities, letting him focus on the high-value stuff that needs a human touch.
And this huge churn in skills is what the reports are calling the skills earthquake.
An earthquake is a good word for it. It is accelerating dramatically.
Yeah.
The specific skills employers are looking for are changing 66% faster in AI-exposed jobs.
And that has a really interesting side effect on hiring, right? The demand for formal degrees is going down.
It is. We're starting to move away from prioritizing what you studied 4 or 10 years ago and more toward what skills you have right now. It could actually democratize opportunity. Adaptability, critical thinking, just being fluent with these new systems, that's becoming more valuable than an old piece of paper.
So speaking of interacting with new systems, let's get into the most disruptive form of AI in business right now, agentic AI. This is where companies are being fundamentally reshaped.
Agentic AI is a true game changer. These are systems that can plan, act, and learn autonomously to achieve goals. And what's crucial is that agentic AI is being adopted even faster than generative AI was.
And executives seem to be treating this technology differently than any tool before it. They're not seeing it as just a better spreadsheet.
That's right. 76% of executives view agentic AI as more like a coworker than a tool. And that just completely shatters the old management framework.
The old framework being that tech is either a substitute for a person or a complement to a person.
Exactly. Agentic AI is both at the same time. It's a tool you own and a coworker you manage.
And managing that duality creates some intense stress inside an organization. The reports break this down into 4 core tensions. The first one is scalability versus adaptability.
Right, the classic dilemma. Leaders want the incredible efficiency you get from standardizing a process, but they also need the flexibility of, human-like improvisation. The Goodwill example is great here.
They're using AI for sorting textiles.
Right, a massive standardization effort. But the real goal is to re-engineer their entire supply chain around the AI's ability to adapt to billions of unique incoming items. They're standardizing in order to customize at scale.
Okay, tension number 2 is all about control. Supervision versus autonomy. How do you manage something that's designed to work on its own?
It's a managerial tightrope walk. You have to treat these agents with oversight, like an employee, even though you own them like a tool. So you have to navigate between human-in-the-loop systems for high-risk stuff.
Where a person has to sign off.
Exactly. And human out of the loop for the low-risk, high-efficiency things.
Yeah.
But the risk there, of course, is that the autonomous agent can pursue a goal very efficiently, but also very blindly, which can lead to some bad unintended consequences.
The third is the resource trade-off. Retrofit versus re-engineer.
This is all about the scope of your investment. Do you use your limited resources for quick, small wins by just plugging AI into your old, maybe outdated processes?
Or do you go for the complete transformative overhaul, knowing that the tech itself is moving so fast that your brand new system might be obsolete by the time you launch it?
It's a paralyzing decision for a lot of CFOs.
And finally, the weirdest one, the investment tension, the one that breaks traditional accounting.
Yeah, agentic AI is simultaneously depreciating and appreciating.
Hold on, explain that. How does it depreciate?
Through something called model drift. That's when the real-world data the AI is seeing starts to diverge from the data it was trained on. So its accuracy slowly degrades. It drifts away from relevance.
Okay, that makes sense.
But at the very same time, the agent appreciates because it's constantly learning, being fine-tuned, and developing new capabilities. Your traditional financial models just can't handle an asset that does both things at once.
And dealing with all these tensions is leading to real structural change in companies, especially in management.
Yes. 45% of the heavy adopters expect to see a reduction in the layers of middle management. This means the role of a manager has to be completely redefined. You're no longer just passing information up and down the chain.
You're becoming an orchestrator.
An orchestrator of hybrid human-AI teams. You're managing exceptions and providing that high-level ethical oversight.
So let's bring it all together. What does all this mean for you, the listener, trying to navigate this huge economic shift and this, frankly, staggering cyber threat?
The first, and I think the most critical step, is defensive. You have to become a human firewall. Remember, the basic psychology of fraud hasn't changed. It's always the same.
They claim to be someone else, they add intense time pressure, and they trigger a high emotion.
Exactly. You have to find a way to disrupt that equation.
So how do you do that in an age of perfect voice cloning?
It's actually pretty simple, proactive stuff. agree on a code word, or a security question with your family, with key employees, with your financial people. A hacker can steal your voice with 15 seconds of audio, but they can't steal the knowledge of that pre-agreed code word. That human knowledge is your defense.
And on the business side of things, it really seems like the biggest challenge isn't the technology, it's organizational.
Absolutely. It's about breaking down those old silos. HR has to work with IT and finance to figure out how to manage this new non-human actor, this agentic coworker. But the upside is huge. Job satisfaction is incredibly high.
What are the numbers on that?
95% of extensive AI adopters report a positive impact on their daily work. When AI is used to empower people, not just replace them, it creates more fulfilling jobs.
As we wrap up this deep dive, let's end with that final provocative thought that comes out of the sources. Organizations are now letting these AI agents talk directly to each other, right? Autonomously.
That's right. 52% of extensive adopters already enable internal agent-to-agent interaction. That means decisions, trades, logistics. It's all increasingly being handled by autonomous agents interacting with their artificial colleagues, often with no human in the loop at all.
So here's the thought for you to take away. If complex decision-making, supply chain management, and even financial trading increasingly happen in an autonomous agent-to-agent ecosystem, what new ethical and governance frameworks do we, as humans, need to establish to maintain any meaningful oversight of a world defined by artificial colleagues? And what happens when the machines disagree?